Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. The next chapter is Babun fi nahi an ityan al-kuhan wal munajjimin wal urraf wa ashab al-raml wa tawariq bil hasa wa bil sha'ir wa nahwi dhalik. Basically, it's the chapter on the prohibition of going to fortune tellers and people who are astrologers and people who say that they know the future and people who think that they can read the signs in the sand and on the pathways and in pebbles and with grains and stuff like that. This Imam Nawawi's chapter. So the first hadith, he is a long chapter. Basically he's saying, don't go to any of these people who tell you that they can tell the future. So the first hadith, وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت, Aisha said, سأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أناس عن الكهان. So some people came and they asked the Messenger of Allah about fortune tellers. فقال ليسوا بشيء. So he responded and he said, they are nothing. And when the Messenger of Allah says they're nothing, what he means is what they tell you has no value whatsoever. The things that they say basically amount to nothing. Just ignore them. They have no benefit at all. فقال, but that wasn't enough for them. So they said, فقالوا, they said, يا رسول الله إنهم يحدثون أحيانا بشيء فيكون حقا. He said, but Messenger of Allah, sometimes they tell us something like a fortune and it ends up being true. It actually happens exactly the way that they said it. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And I've heard this, by the way, before. I've heard this from many people. They say, but it happened and what they said, it was truth. How do we understand that? فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Messenger of Allah said, تلك الكلمة من الحق يخطفها الجني. That is a word that the jinn that they're working with is able to snatch away. فيقرها في أذن وليه. And he goes and he tells the person that's controlling that jinn, فيخلطون معها مئة كذبة. And they take that one truth and they mix with it 100 lies. Muttafaqun alayh. This is a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Now there are many other hadith which talk about this, but this is a principle that we need to understand. Number one, anyone who tries to tell you that they can see the future, there are so many stores, mystics, psychics, fortune tellers, the old word is called soothsayers. You go to them and you show them a picture and they say, show me a picture of the person you want to marry. They look at the two pictures, they're going to tell you, I can see that this is a match or it's not a match. You go to somebody else and they say, I want to know what's going to happen. And we have people like this in our community, sadly. You go to somebody else, you tell them, what's going to happen to me in the future? Am I going to be a rich man? Am I going to be a poor man? What's going to happen? Am I going to get it? They're going to tell you that this is what's going to happen to you. Some other people, they'll have cards and they're going to look at the flip over the card and they're going to tell you what's going to happen in your future. Some people, they read the grounds inside of a cup of tea and the tea leaves left over. Some people, they have rocks in the past. They used to use rocks. Some people, they're not astronomists, astrologists, and they're going to read the stars and they're going to say, the stars align this way, so this is what's going to happen. And still many people today, before anyone can get married, they say, I want to know what sign this person is. They're going to go check, say this person was born in this year and this month. This person was born in this year, this day, this month. So we need to check the signs if they match. And if the signs don't match, they say, you're not marrying that person, no matter what, because the signs don't match. So this is unfortunately so prevalent in our community. And the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he's basically saying one answer very clear. All those people, laysu bishay. They're nothing. They're nothing. And if you come across the same question that some of the Sahaba asked, they said, but sometimes they're right. Those two people, they got married. And we looked at their signs and that's why they got divorced. The sign was right. Should have listened to them. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he gave two explanations. In this hadith, he's talking about the people who are actually involved with jinn. And they're able to catch some aspects of what's going on and they mix it with 100 lies, so they still don't know the truth. They just happen to be right sometimes. And in another hadith, he said sometimes those people, they're just saying it and they're coincidentally right. And people start to believe them because they're so confident in themselves. We need to protect ourselves from these things. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the future. When we make decisions, we make istikhara, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, and we should not even go to those people, even if you think, oh, I just want to see what they would say. I think maybe it would be interesting. It's a very, very serious thing, and I'll mention another hadith inshallah on Wednesday regarding this, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our hearts, protect our minds, and make us follow the Quran and the Sunnah when it comes to these things. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.